Today is day 9 of 100 days of random acts of kindness. Today was another hospital day, and we learned quite a bit. So I went up to pharmacology and got my blood drawn, and my neutrophils, which were the issue with my last trial. I hovered around, I'm going to say 1.0. That was what I needed in order to complete or continue on with the trial. Now are 3.4. So they've totally rebounded. And neutrophils kind of take care of your immune system, so that's a good thing. My white blood cells are up, my red blood cells are up. Not high, just up. So that's good. My urine is typically good. My heart was good. But the blood tells a lot. So I went down to see my oncologist afterwards, and it's just really interesting. So I ended up meeting the principal investigating oncologist responsible for this clinical trial. I did not meet that same position, the oncologist who held that position with my last trial. So he walked in, and I think I was saying yesterday about my shortness of breath. So some main concerns right now, obviously the cold sore. I know it will just go away, but it is disgusting. And then all this lovely craziness. Those are cosmetic, not a huge deal, but they have to do with the trial. And then my breathing is obviously my number one. And then just kind of like anything from like here right down to my guts. So nausea, some heartburn, indigestion, diarrhea. I won't go into all the details, but you see where that's going. Just anything to do with like my appetite it's manageable, to be honest. My nausea is manageable. For a while there, my stomach was a little touch and go. But anyway, we chit-chatted, and he said, because this is a first phase 1 trial, and my other trial was phase 3. So in this case, phase 1 is figuring out the right toxicity, how much the human body can handle. They've really only tested these drugs on mice prior to putting them into humans. So, I mean, we really are on the ground level. When it comes to side effects, like there's not really a whole lot that we can compare it to. So today, I couldn't do anything without just being so out of breath. And so, he came in, and, that's what it is. It's a trial. That's just, like, I can't walk to the bathroom and back without being drastically out of breath. This, all trial. He said this is a rash that, depending on if it, I have a filter on, and I have some green makeup on here kind of to cover it up, because I'm straight up Rudolph right now. Like, my nose is just brutal. Anyway, so he talked about that. What's normal anymore is very strange. I very much feel like a cancer patient on this drug. You can hear little wheezes. Whereas I didn't on the other drug. I mean, that's not true. I felt like a cancer patient, but I think I got used to having cancer in my bones. I knew what to expect. I got used to the side effects of the other treatment, so I never felt like 100%. I don't even know what it feels like to be healthy anymore, to be honest. But now I feel like I can't go very far without being out of breath. I've got a fracture in my pelvis hip area. Yeah, the out of breath, the nausea, the not being too far from a bathroom. I was dry heaving yesterday, like all that stuff, not really ideal. And the crazy thing is, I don't look sick, do I? I still have my hair. That's always a key one. I mean, I don't really have eyebrows left, and my eyelashes are going, but I have hair, and that's always a big one, where people just assume that you don't have cancer if you have hair. But my random act of kindness actually has to do with that doctor. As somebody who's deciding, when my options were, I kind of had 3 options. I had one route that I could take. This clinical trial was another route that was kind of route 1 plus route 2. And then my third route was chemo. So route 1 seemed kind of not an option if route 2 included route 1. So we kind of knocked route 1 out. Route 3 was chemo. I've been down that route. It sucks. And I don't know if I'm quite ready for chemo. And so we went with this route. They're not good. Listen, I wish I didn't have cancer. These are shitty routes. But I got to pick one. Or none. But that's a route. I guess I have 4 routes in because that's a route in itself. So you kind of think, well, I don't know. For us, the right decision was this clinical trial. And I very much, when I found out that the last trial I was on, when the drug was FDA approved, so it hasn't been Health Canada approved yet, but it has been approved in the States. And my husband said, you help make that happen. And I hadn't really thought of it that way before, but I thought, that's true. And I am helping contribute to research, and I am helping contribute to millions of lives in the future, and hopefully extending them even an extra year with their loved ones. We all know that this is still a death sentence. But if we can extend our time, and, you know, this trial that I'm in now didn't exist a year ago. So, you know, if we can keep pushing forward and keep that research going. And to be honest, if it wasn't for the millions of people who have taken part in clinical trials before me, I wouldn't be here right now. So, I do have sometimes people saying very nice things about me and taking part in clinical trials, but let's be honest, I would not be able to take part in clinical trials if it wasn't for people, millions and millions of people willing to take part in clinical trials before me, and ones that didn't work and ones that did work. And I am so grateful for those people. And sometimes I feel that people who don't have cancer and who are in the medical field don't always see it like that. Sometimes it's the, well, you need me more than I need you. I don't get that from many people, but that is sometimes it can be easy sometimes in the cancer center when all people see are cancer patients to become a little desensitized. And I have had that experience before where I get that somebody's having a hard day because Susie didn't show up, or, you know, the water cooler gossip is intense or whatever it is. But let's not forget that everybody in this center has cancer. And that just becomes very evident when you're the one on the other side of that reception desk. So my random act of kindness is, today when I met the doctor, the principal investigating oncologist, when he was leaving, and he looked at me and he said, you know, you're so young and there's no reason for this cancer to be the cause of this. It's the treatment definitely that's causing, well, everything that you can see, but also my lungs. And so we kind of discussed a few things, and he got up and he shook my hand again, and he said, it was really nice meeting you. And I said, oh, it was really nice meeting you too. And he said, thank you for participating. And I don't think anybody's ever said that to me on my medical team before. So I said, oh, that's a nice thing to say. And he said, no, you're doing the right thing, and you're helping a lot of people. And somebody in your situation who has gone through a CDK4/6 inhibitor, which is the classification of the drug that I just took, who, you know, it worked for me, but obviously the cancer outsmarts it after a while. And he said, we don't know what to do with people like you, with your cancer. He didn't say people like you. He said, with your cancer, we don't know now the right route for you. And he said, this is the best one right now that we have. And I mean, it made it blatantly obvious that regardless of all the research and all the money, there's still so much that's left to be discovered. But him thanking me has stuck with me all day. And it hasn't been a great day. I have felt very sick today. I have felt very ill. And to me, there's very much a difference between being ill and being sick. Being ill to me is like terminal cancer. You are ill. And I have felt ill, not necessarily nauseous, just ill. It's very evident that I am very sick right now. And him thanking me just really has resonated with me today for whatever reason. And I thought he didn't have to do that. Nobody else seems to do that at the hospital. But being the one who, he said he signed up the first person ever on this trial. And so to meet him, and he was obviously concerned when he heard about my side effects. But then for him to stop and take time out of his day to thank me, pretty big random act of kindness in my book. So that's today. I will talk to you tomorrow.